You thought Cupid Parasite was hilarious? Then brace yourself for Variable Barricade. You play as the high school girl Hibari, who is the child of a wealthy family, and how it is apparently due in the Japanese upper class. Your grandpa wants you to marry soon. Therefore, he chose 4 suitable bachelors you are to live with until you decide on one of them to marry. But upon researching your potential candidates, you find out they are all unemployed sloths and seemingly involved in sketchy businesses. I'll actually start with introducing the MC Hibari, because her character plays a huge role in this game. She's a true tsundere girl, like being asked whether she likes her best friend or not, she would say, "Betsuni." So, like, not particularly. She's kind of tropey, but also has a very cute data side that she actually shows quite often. And she's not very amused by the thought of having to live, let alone marry, one of those failure guys. Starting with Nayuta, who is deep in debt. He's the puppiest puppy dog I've ever seen. He loyally waits at the entrance for the MC to return home, figuratively wagging his tail. He's even called Faithful Dog by the other guys. And they attempted to throw him a frisbee he would happily catch for them. That said, he's also very athletic and wants to be scolded or told what to do by his owner, meaning the MC. But starting his route, he makes a very interesting 180. His route made me laugh the most. The humor and revelations are over the top hilarious in a way I haven't seen before. That definitely made him my favorite route. Second, I played Chion. He is known for relying on others and somehow always manages that others do the actual work for him, what he calls his Patreon, people who are happy to support him. Of course. Being pretty himself, he also likes pretty things or decorating. He's more a quiet and dreamy type who observes more than taking action himself. Though he's generally calm and soft, he can get really scary when he's angry. Still, he also cares about others and wants to be a pillar of support for the MC. I forgot about his character as soon as I finished his route. Being so calm, he didn't leave a huge impression in the common route, and also his route didn't have the kind of revelations I was expecting, and therefore was lacking substantial character development. Second to last, I played Tiger, and I really had to practice some self-restraint not to play him first, because he has the same voice actor as Young, and you might know I love that voice actor. So without further thinking about it, he's of course my favorite character. Tiger, whose fault amongst many others is that he has a gambling addiction. He seems like a bully and is called Ore-sama by the others. But being seemingly uninterested and cold to the MC, he also has tsundere traits. But interacting with the other 3 candidates, he appears like a leader or someone who is good in organizing, appearing experienced and mature. And those 2 sides made him super interesting to me as a character because he changed between his gentle caring side but then teased the MC relentlessly again. That's why I think he has the deepest character and story of all 4. But keep in mind, I'm heavily biased. His route was obviously the most romantic to me, so though the game wasn't especially steamy, he still gets my most sexy awards for the most classically romantic scenes. Now we come to the last character I really feared to play, because he annoyed me so much in the common route, and that is Ichiya, who attempted marriage fraud. And apart from that, he's a huge sweet talker and actually does things like making an omelette and writing "for my love" on it with ketchup. He's very good at cooking, and that's basically what he does the whole day, filling the MC with delicious meals. That said, he appears like the ideal man and soft husband, but I couldn't stand him from start to finish. He probably was too soft and cowardly for me, and at the same time being doting and overbearing towards the MC, and I really don't want to be treated as if I can do nothing for myself. But thankfully the MC stood up against him, and her tsundere side was at its best in his route. His route was also the only slightly angsty route in this game, but still, as this is a overall funny game, the angst didn't make me feel emotional, and I would maybe even say it felt a bit misplaced, because it touched on serious topics, but at the same time ridiculed them in this lighthearted storytelling. The tone of the game is a romantic comedy through and through, be it the silly characters or the arcs with the weirdest revelations you could imagine. I'm looking at you, Nayuta. This game has a rather long common route, what is also due to the fact that you have to play the first chapter of each character route within the common route. And I really didn't like this concept because it tore the stories apart. This way the common route took me about 10 to 15 hours, whereas the character routes only took me between 5 to 10 hours, and being extremely short in comparison. That might also be due to the fact that nothing really happened in the character routes, there was no plot, and that also led me to fear that Hibari fell sometimes in love a bit too quickly. And the same applies to the love interest, who also suddenly fell in love with Hibari for the strangest reason. So I kind of fear that not even love was taken seriously in this game. Not saying that it's generally a bad thing, just saying you can't expect dramatic romantic love in this game. There were also sections not directly connected to the story, like the 4 guys playing Mario Kart together and Nayuta choosing Donkey Kong and Taiga choosing Bowser. And that's kind of cute, isn't it? In general, the chemistry between the whole cast is really lovely. And despite of one would expect considering that they compete against each other, the 4 guys actually support each other in a lovely way and don't show signs of jealousy or possessiveness. Concerning the endings, there were quite a few of them, but none of the endings really added much to the character or story. What also doesn't add much is the Switch version. It comes with like an after story slapped on that is just a summary of what happened in the main game with an unspectacular CG. So if you have the option to buy the Japanese version, maybe go for the Vita version and save some bucks. Coming to the art of the game, starting with the voices, and the voice that totally stood out to me, except for Taiga of course, was of course the voiced heroine, because you don't have that too often, and she really did a great job voicing the tsundere side, but also her cute dere side. But whose voice I loved even more was Nayuta's voice, because a quirky character like him could easily have been either annoying or childish, but somehow the voice actor managed to make every voice line exceptionally funny. And I almost always laughed when I heard him. The music, on the other hand, is nothing too spectacular. It does the job done, but I really only like one soundtrack. Especially in the background art, you see that the game stems from the Vita, because the backgrounds are kind of uninspired and bland. But of course, like the music, nothing game-breaking. The CGs were all pretty, though only about half of them are like really romantic couple CGs. The part I loved about the art were the chibi CGs, if you can call it like that. They perfectly fit the silly tone of the game and were obviously super cute and always made me laugh. I might like them more than the real CGs. Should you learn Japanese with Variable Barricade? Well, I thought I could recommend it even for beginners, but considering Hibari is from a wealthy family and even has a butler who uses difficult butler talk, I would rather recommend this game for lower intermediate learners. Though, of course, as always, if you love a game, just go ahead. Would I recommend this game? Yes and no, because it really is a pure slice of life story, and I discovered for me personally that doesn't quite do the trick for me. But, of course, if you want something light-hearted and don't mind laughing about the characters, because the game likes to ridicule most of them, then you should definitely buy this game and laugh like you haven't yet before about an otome game. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks for resting peach face as practically always for recommending this game. If you're looking for something light-hearted, maybe Love or Pretend could be interesting for you, and consider to like or subscribe if you want to see more reviews and content related to Japanese otome games. See you then, bye!